I was on mute. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for those of you tuning in. It should be a 3-day weekend for most of you all, being Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully, most of us are able to tune in late on the East Coast. Let me adjust something here. Sometimes the sound is a little bit muffed. I meant to do this earlier. Let me know if the sound is a little bit better. Some of my speakers are actually under my MacBook, so. All right, we have one live viewer on here so far. Welcome. Yeah, I think it should be a 3-day weekend for most people. But so what I'm going to do, you all have heard me talk about how I regret getting out of those Nvidia call options back in February. I did rack in like an 85% gain, and I went back and looked, and I put everything together, and you all are not going to believe how well those would have done. But I'm going to make that basically the main topic of tonight's video. And then I'm going to show some meta options that I'm currently in. And I'm going to get you all's feedback. What is this here? Did you wait till the end of Succession to start the stream? You got to let me know these things if you want the stream to coincide with the end of a certain show. Of course, some of you have said you've cut out your regular TV altogether to tune into this. So, I'm kind of banking on that too. Yeah. This is going to be very painful, but this is how we learn, right? So every year since I've been trading options, I have a couple of really big missed trades that probably could have paid me my full year salary. My favorite one, 2021 with Danaher, it was a $70,000 trade, 10 call options in Danaher that expired September of 2021. That would have been a $70,000 profit from that one. I have since then had other profits in that same stock, but I tried again most recently, and so far it's worked against me. And I think one of you tried to follow me on here, and you did the same thing, and it hasn't worked for you. Welcome, Door Gunner. So I had bought, and this is where I really knock myself. This will kind of be like therapy, group therapy for me, and hopefully you all can learn from this too. Because so I feel like I have good instincts when it comes to investing. But when you invest, like there's so many voices in your head. You've got like the one here and the one here. And one of them is right. But my instinct, and I'm gonna probably look really, really foolish when it's all said and done. Of course, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and say, well, if you thought that, you should have just kept with it. So well, I'm glad you tuned in here, Sam Talks Finances. This is going to be a profound lesson, I think, for all of you. So learn from this, because I've done this at least once every year. I miss out on a big Blockbuster trade. I'm not going to give any numbers until I actually show the screen. But what I had to do, I went into, yeah, I know. Like I said, group therapy, right? I'm just missing a beer at this point. So what I had to do, because with this live streaming that I do, I'm not able to pull up Thinkorswim like I used to on when I was using Zoom. So I went ahead and screenshotted the result, and I emailed it to myself. So I'm going to pull it up here in a second. But let me go ahead and keep prefacing this. So my instinct, which looking back, like if I told myself from a year ago that I was going to do this, I'd probably like punch myself in the face. I literally did a presentation on Nvidia in one of my last classes that I was in for my master's program. So my thought process was going back to July of 2022, and I think I bought these right after I did that presentation, which I have that presentation recorded on another channel, which I'll link to. I have a second channel, actually. Yeah, see, good. Like I say, group therapy. Just missing some beer. Okay, so Nvidia last July. And I sold it so convincingly in the presentation too. I even showed my YouTube channel there, which it's funny because it's getting to where with like Gen Z and millennials, I remember, because I'm kind of close to the cutoff. Like I remember when you could tell people your job and they would be impressed. Now you just tell people you're a YouTuber and it's like you get this, whoa, let me shake your hand like you're a celebrity. So that's the same effect I had in my class. When I played my YouTube videos, like, whoa, all of a sudden my stock went up, and I happened to be talking about a stock. So no pun intended. What did you say here? You need to have a trading plan going in, when to take profits, when to cut losses. You can't bank on a massive run up. See, that's the thing. I don't have a refined trading plan. And the funny thing, like I was saying yesterday, I've even paid for courses and stuff that a lot of them are doing like these spread trades, which, you get like 15 or 20% profit, but it's not really big. Maybe $100 here, $50 there, but it's not like a full-time income. But the thing about this is you're absolutely right with what you're saying. I just don't know what the exact answer is in terms of a plan, because really it was a successful trade that I'm upset about. I'm upset about an 85% gain, you know. So kind of hard on myself. I think the key is sticking to a trading plan and removing the emotions, although it's a lot easier said than done. Okay, so my thought process, we're going to go back to July of 2022. And it's so weird because this is like when I finished my first master's, and it's like I'm missing it now. Like I look back and I just never thought I would finish. Now that I'm done, I'm like, wow, it's over. Anyway, okay, so Nvidia last July 15th was $153.72. I had said, and you all can watch this too, and I'm going to link to it from my second channel. By the way, my second channel is called Gen XYZ Investing. If you search for that, Gen XYZ Investing and Wealth Building. I'm trying to get that going. I've got like 23 subscribers. I think a couple of you have actually found me already. But I said in that video that Nvidia would most likely get back to its 2021 highs. Well, guess where it is now, as of the earnings that came out this past week. It's back to its 2021 highs. So almost seems like I had a crystal ball saying that, right? I kind of knew that would happen. And it's funny because I like to, when I do something like this, I like to get the Monday morning quarterbacking from people that don't even trade. And they'll say, well, yeah, of course. So Nvidia is an AI and stuff. Of course, you had to know they were going to come back. And I'm like, oh yeah, did you make the trade? Yeah, you don't even trade. Give me a break. But I still, part of me feels like I deserve some of that. But anyway, so we're gonna look at this here. So I was up 85% in the trade, but let's go ahead and have fun here, and I'm going to show you all how well this trade could have done. You can imagine, based on the way the stock moved up, you see this straight line up. We moved up like $75 in one day. That is the classic example of what I refer to as an earnings blast, which I've talked about on this channel a bunch. So let's go ahead and look at it. Any guesses before I go in as to how much on three contracts from from August 2022 to May 26th if I sold Friday? Any guesses as to how much that would have been? Well, I'll give you a hint. It would have been a five-figure profit. But how much? So take some guesses, put them in the comment section while I pull this up. So, all right, I'm going to share the screen here from my email. What was the strike price? Well, if I tell you that, you'll be able to figure it out. The strike price was like 325, which it actually went way in the money after earnings came up. So, uh, good guess. It's actually higher. It's actually higher. You're not going to believe it. All right, let me share the screen. Let's just go into it and look. Read them and weep, as they say. Okay. Well, you're getting warmer before I start sharing. You're getting warmer. It was higher. You're going to find out here in like 30 seconds. So, all right, no more guessing. All right, so here we go. So, can you all see this? Let me see. Yes, you can. So, this is the Thinkorswim backtest feature that I had to email to myself. So, if you look in the middle of the screen here, let me know if it's big enough for you all to see. So, if you look in the middle of the screen, you're going to see the backtest of this trade. So, I bought in August 2022, I bought three contracts for the September 15th, 2023, $325 expiring September 15th, 2023 call option. The trade date was August 19th. If you look over here to the middle right, you'll see the pain. This was a $23,610 profit. It's like a third of a year's salary almost. So yeah. Now I have another screenshot that I didn't email myself to have more fun. If I had bought 10 contracts in this, guess how much money that would have been? It would have only been about 78,000 and change. Pretty good year salary, right? On just one trade. Missed opportunity, right? That's classic earnings blast. So, what's the moral of the story here? What's the lesson? Because here's the thing, you know, I've done this enough to where I've held on to other ones. This is the flip side of this coin. I've held on to other ones and I've let them expire worthless because I was stubborn. I'm like, you know what? There's one more earnings date before, because this is basically a leap option scenario, right? So I said, there's basically one or two more earnings quarters before this thing expires worthless. And it gets to be a fine line because when you start getting 3 months out, um, and there's a flip side, there's a silver lining to this story, actually, which is going to be part two of the video. So, okay. And I almost live streamed this because I talked about doing a live stream late last night, but I just waited till now. Um, but yeah, I emailed this to myself. I was pretty pissed. I emailed this to myself early this morning, late night, early morning. And yeah, so what I've done, my options, if I were to show you my whole options results, it's all over the map. I've had some great wins, but I've had some big losses too. And there's other services I'm subscribed to that some of them were doing really well in 2020, but in 2020 and 2021, but they've completely lost their marbles in 2022. So yeah, but the funny thing, none of them really recommended this trade. And one investor group that I'm in, that I actually, when I went out to Vegas, I went for that conference. They were laughing at me about this trade. They were saying, "Oh, that's way too risky, way too high of a delta, and whatnot." Well, and I actually posted on the group Facebook page today and pointed this out. So, who turned out to be right in the end? But I can't quite laugh all the way to the bank because I didn't fully make it to the bank. But I sold it, and I'll show you all the real trade after this, and then what I want to go into next, because like I said, I've had this happen at least once a year. And I've had it happen on the flip side too, funny enough. I've had it happen where I've done covered calls. Like I could have done covered calls on Mercado Libre and made like 50 grand last year, early last year, the way the market tanked. Could have easily done that, but didn't happen, right? So you have so close to reality, right? So in another dimension, this did happen. But anyway, so what I've done as a result of this is like the psychology of investing. On other ones, I've said, okay, so I missed this one. So then some people would think, oh, buy it again. You don't want to buy in right now again. But what I've done on other options, I've said, all right, I'm just going to hold them as long as I can, and then they end up expiring worthless. So sometimes I make a joke. I say, well, if I had stayed in, the video wouldn't have done this. That's like my joke. That's like my luck. If I had stayed in, the video probably wouldn't have done this. But anyway, so the silver lining to this, and I'm sure I got comments stacked up left and right here. Oh, actually, not too many. The lesson is stick to the plan, but what is the plan? I still, at like 3 years into this, I still don't have a refined trading strategy. I watched some of the Tasty Trade options training, and they always recommend taking profit when you're 50% up, but to do more frequent trades. This is where the investing gods, if you want to call it that, really toy with me, because have I told you all how many times just with stock trading I've been up over 100% in a stock and I've sold because I said, hey, 100%, that's like a perfect. I thought 100% was like perfection. So I'm up 100%. I doubled my money, sold, but guess what happened? It kept running and running. And so I feel like, all right, there are certain things. It's like a mindset that separates rich from poor, and it's like sometimes you feel like you're just like right there, like you're that close, you know. Um, and I feel like, okay, a person with truly like a rich mindset would have known to stay in. It's like what I did. It's like I talked myself out of this. You know what I mean? So, and I hope this resonates with all of you all, because I literally had the right instinct. I was going to hold this, not until expiration, but at least into the summer, you know. So I had the right instinct, but I literally talked myself out of this, which is really dumb, but hopefully you all learned something from this. Okay, let's see. You are the puppet master. I am the puppet master. I'm the puppet master. My audience is all the puppets, right? Just kidding. You guys actually teach me stuff. Investing versus trading. Perhaps an account for trading and another one for investing. Well, I have a couple of accounts, but you know what's funny? I think I actually do better in the fake account. I need to just show that one. I need to just say, hey, you know what? I'm a YouTuber. I'm a genius trader. Just show the fake account, and it's got more money in it anyway. Like the TD Ameritrade account that starts you with 200,000. Some people recommend taking half off the table when you're at 100% up. I have heard that actually. That way you take risk off the table. It's true because you're playing with the house's money, right? Absolutely right. 2-to-1 profit loss. So now what I want to show you all, since you all are my core fans that are on here, and usually I wait till the end of the video to do this, but I'm going to show you the real trade, the reality versus the what could have been, the one that got away. Is there ever one that got away? Well, for me, once a year, there's one that gets away. Let's see here. Okay, TD Ameritrade. And then I'll share once I get a comfortable screen up here. They actually, they were mocking me a little bit in my investor group. They told me Nvidia, I look at Nvidia like an ex-girlfriend or something. So I told him, I said, you know what? If I had a daughter, I would just name her Nvidia because I'm so in love with the stock, of course, and what I missed out on, right? Okay, with that being said, let me pull up Ameritrade here. It'd be so cool to be able to show Thinkorswim on here. I'll have to probably explore a different streaming service at some point. But let's see here. I'm going to go to my realized gains for the year. And I'll show you all this. I've only got 2 so far. So here's what we'll do. Or a dog. Yeah, that would be a good name for a dog. Or a cat even. A rescue. I can go rescue a pet and name the pet Nvidia. That would be funny. I need to rescue my trades here. Okay, so I'm gonna share screen, Ameritrade. Okay, so here you all go. Since you all are my core fans here. So here is the actual trade that I made in Nvidia, right here in the middle of the screen. So you can see the trade was actually a success. The trade itself. I bought one July 26th of 22. I bought 2 more August 19th. So actually, the first one I sold for 102% gain, which, like you're claiming, Hoffman, you're saying that was actually perfect. But you see, I left another probably $22,000 on the table, right? And then the other side of the coin. So the other 2 was a $937 gain or 76%. So the blended return was 84%. And I actually showed this trade in my investor group. And then the other one was just I bought back a covered call that I sold on SKT just to make some profit. You know what? And I've stopped doing that for some reason. I bought it back because it didn't pan out much. So I made like $3 on it. So it wasn't even worth the fees that I paid for it. So that's the actual trade there. So I did have a successful trade in Nvidia. I mean, 84%, you can't really be too upset with that. So what I want to show next, which is going to be kind of what I call the silver lining of the video. So believe it or not, right now, I'm sitting on a similar trade with Meta because I did the same, I followed the same strategy with Meta. I believed about a year ago that basically all the tech stocks, Tesla, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon. Well, I didn't do this with Amazon, but I did a call option last year. I actually did a call option for the split. So I had 20 contracts at one point. I was thinking I was setting up for a Blockbuster trade, but it never happened. It ended up expiring worthless. So I closed the books on last year anyway, other than the options that carried forward to this year. So right now, so I did it with Tesla. Tesla bombed. I'm down 99% in that. Nvidia profited 84%, but could have been. What's the percentage on that, by the way? The 23,000. That has to be like thousands of percentage points gain. The silver lining is right now, believe it or not, I'm actually sitting on my best option win ever in Meta, which I looked at because I followed the same strategy. So I'm going to pick you all's brain here, and I want you all to tell me if you were in this trade, what you would do at this point. Because I'm almost in the same boat I was in with Nvidia. I'm not up nearly as much as I was with Nvidia, but I don't know. How good of fans are you? Should I show you all this trade? I don't want you all to think too highly of me, but because these trades don't happen for me every day. But this actually, right now, if I was to cash in what it's at right now, it beats the Danaher one that I did in November. This would become my biggest option win ever. But now I'm wondering if there's more meat on the bone. Like, I'm wondering if Meta, what do you all think Meta is going to do in the next 2 to 3 months? Because I'm only going to stay in this trade maybe another, what's today, the 28th? I may stay in another month or two. I think I would be kind of, I'd have my back against the wall at this point if I wait till the next earnings, because this one is also a September 15th expiring option. So let me go to my unrealized gains here. I don't want to make myself look too good here. But you know what? I like transparency with all of you all. I mean, I think that's what differentiates me from other YouTubers. Um, so here's what I will do. Let me see, because I want to show, because I have Meta, I actually have it in both accounts. So I want to try to see if I can find the combined position, actually. Let me see now. How do I want to show this? All right, well, let's just do this. You'll see some of the good with the bad, I guess. Um, I'm still trying to figure out Ameritrade's views here. Oh, here we go. I think I can do. Oh, it won't let me do a combined. Let me see what this one is. Oh, this is a different one. Give me just a second here. Bear with me. Come on. Ooh, what's this? Oh, you know what? I think I did Nvidia. Look at this. I did Nvidia in two accounts. Actually, I completely forgot about this. I did it in the Roth too. So I'll show you all the Roth. When's Meta's next earnings? Well, dare we say we should go back to Yahoo Finance to look at that, because that stock, that what was that? What was that site I was using yesterday? Stock analysis or something. It doesn't show me earnings. My expiration is September 15th for Meta. Let me show you all this first here. So there was more Nvidia, actually. It wasn't. It was a little bit better. So I had almost 8 contracts total. This is the Roth. I'll show you all the Roth here. See, I'm showing real trades now. So I made the same trade. I did one in the Roth, July 26th, right after that presentation I did. And then I did another 4 in the Roth. So this total, this was a 79.16% gain. So this was a profit of, 20, almost $2,400. So not too bad. I almost doubled my money. Can't complain too much about that. So let me just stop this again here, because I'm going to change screens. All right, my unrealized gains. My Roth is pretty disastrous. I don't know if I want to show you all. Well, let's see. Let me see. See, Meta's in the middle of this screen here. There's some dumb ones I'm in though. Some of them I've been in for a while. Like I'm in AT&T. I'm in IQIYI. You know what? Heck with it. So basically, in my Ameritrade brokerage account, by the way, are you all having fun seeing all my account stuff? I don't normally do this. Oh, well, you know what? Because you showed up here, Big Lance. Since you showed up, I just have to now, you know. Meta's got $40 more by September. I would ask you for that, and I would say, can we get that in writing? But we already have it in writing. So how certain are you about that? $40 more by September. So you know how options work, obviously. The theta decay is going to kick in probably by August 15th. So I definitely need to be out of it by August 15th. So you're thinking, I think it's going to keep going up too. But The earnings could go either way. I mean, is Meta heavily into AI like Nvidia is? Because the earnings could really go either way. I mean, right now this one's not even in the money. We had a great day Friday. It's up 262.04 as of Friday, and it's up another 146 in the after hours to 236.50. Um, so after September's earnings, well, mine are going to expire before then. So shoot, you think I should buy more? Should I? I should have probably picked my expiration to be, but I think I went as far out as I could. No, I didn't. I didn't because they go like 2 years out. But it's more expensive sometimes the further out you go. Are there any brokerage that allow you 4-to-1 margin ratio? Well, yeah, just that like that other YouTuber, that unconventional wealth ideas guy. I'm sure his broker allows that. I had to say that. Take the profit, buy a new one. I am thinking about doing that. Um, so, all right, you know what? Since you all are such a good audience, I might just show you. So here's the deal. From Ameritrade, okay, I'm actually up overall like 20% in unrealized gains in one, but in the Roth, I'm way down because I've held AT&T for like 5 years, and they gave me that stupid Warner Brothers stock that split off, which they're into a lot of woke stuff. So like they say, go woke, go broke. No offense to any woke fans here. I'm awake myself. I say awake, not woke. But what's this? I mean, seriously, I'm still new. Still new at what? Options trading? Interactive Brokers 5.8% for what? Oh, for margin. I really don't like to mess with margin. To be honest with you all, I scared the shit out of myself last year. Because I have a video on this too. I may try to link to it. I did a really, really risky trade in Mercado Libre. Because what you do, if you play around, like if you look at E-Trade actually has a good layout. Um, I'm doing what a TV show does right now. I'm keeping you all in suspense because I'm about to show you something big at the end, but I'm building up to it. So, Mercado Libre was like the Brazilian Amazon, company, South American Amazon, so to speak. So, they used to be a really, really expensive stock. I mean, they were like a $1,600 or more stock, I want to say. Let me see. Meli is the ticker. They're back up to 1282, but they used to be at their peak. This was almost a $2,000 a share stock. So what I was doing as the stock was dropping, I tried to ride the down wave and sell covered calls against it. So I tried to sell poor man's covered calls. So what I did, I went way out into the future and scooped up because I thought I was going to have the trade work for me on both sides. I basically did kind of an unconventional spread trade. How's that for an unconventional wealth idea? See, you get those here too. So I did a basically an unconventional spread trade. So I bought call options in Mercado Libre for the sole purpose of covering, being able to use that, let my broker recognize that as that I own the shares, right? So I got one in there, and then I sold calls against it, and I couldn't believe it, but my broker actually let this trade go through. So um, what ended up happening, unfortunately, the stock moved way against me. All of a sudden, I think this was after like 4th of July last year, and it ended up moving so far against me, I didn't have the money in the account to cover it. And I seriously was starting to get heart palpitations. I mean, it freaked me out because I was like, what am I going to do if this thing keeps moving? What am I going to do? Am I going to lose like my house? Am I going to lose everything? Are they going to take all my options away? No pun intended, but am I gonna like lose everything? So what ended up happening, thank God, it dropped again. And I like, and this is what's stressful about this, because I normally don't watch the market this close, but I was watching like all day, every minute of the day. I watched every move of the stock, and literally every move coincided like with every heartbeat. It was like da-dunk, da-dunk, da-dunk. It's moving again. So I ended up getting out and only costing myself a certain amount of money. This was that flip side that I was telling you about of the call options. So had I held another 2 or 3 days, it would have been like a $20,000 gain. But I was so afraid of, I wanted out of it at that point. I felt like I was playing with fire at that point, and I just wanted out of it at that point. I was like, I have to get out of this because I can't take the stress of this. Um, yeah, I could have rolled it at that time. I didn't quite perfect the art of rolling it. I just felt like I had over leveraged myself, and I was afraid of like getting the whole account liquidated at that point. So yeah. Oh, we're getting a lot of you showing up here. TD Ameritrade's very strict on margin lending. Most of my high yielding stuff is considered non-marginable. But anyway, needless to say, that one have if I held it another day or two, it would have been like a $20,000 gain, you know. So and then I got out of it, but I held the leap option that I had for January. Um, and that one started appreciating. So I think I sold that one for like 100% gain. So that one actually worked out for me on both sides. I've heard that sometimes called a calendar spread. That might have been what I did. Calendar spread, synthetic covered call. Either way, both fancy terms, and apparently I did it. So that's great to hear. I'm glad. Anybody have N1 Finance as brokerage? I think I downloaded the app, but I haven't used it. Is Amazon YieldMax live now? I don't think so, not yet. AMZN. Oops. AMZN is the ticker for Amazon. AMZY. No, I don't believe it's live yet. What's this? Wow. Is that from my story? Yeah, I've got some good stories, don't I? TD margin ranges from 12 to 18%. It's worse than a credit card. Well, you know what they did to me? A couple of my spread trades that I've done, I ended up getting assigned on the stock, and I didn't have money there, so they ended up buying on margin. So here's a question for you all: if they buy on margin and I move the money there later, do I own the stocks on margin in perpetuity? Or does it just replace it once I put the cash there? I'm not quite sure how that works, but I think last time I looked, I don't think I'm paying any fees in margin. But I have to tell you that the wheels kind of came off the train last year investing. I was trying to do everything I could to beat the market, but last year's market was really stressful. So luckily, I didn't get any gray hair from it, though. Okay, so you like my story? Very compelling, moving story. Could make a movie out of it, right? Actually, there's a lot of parts of my life I could make movies out of. I am working on a book, by the way. No, it takes your cash immediately, but when you move the cash back over, does it buy the stock on margin? Because I think that's what happened to me. I got more AT&T, which I didn't want, and then I got there's a company that I got, a shipping company. So my account that I only trade options in, I have 2 stocks that I never wanted, but because of spread trades that I did, I got in. Oh, Safe Bulkers. It pays a dividend though, but I'll have to look again to see if it actually traded on margin or not. I'm not sure if I actually own the stocks on margin, but I know I have the cash there to cover it. So, okay. Glad you all like my stories. Hopefully you learned something from them. Yeah, last year I would say I really grew as an investor. So you remember Mercado Libre, I assume. 2-to-1 margin. I tried to do Chipotle. I did an option on Chipotle actually. Um, who's this? He has an unusually low margin rate and a high margin ratio rate, 4-to-1, but depends on the stock you pick. Hey, since we have Rob Smith on here, do you trade options, Rob Smith? I know you're mostly dividends, but I think you've traded some options too. So I definitely want to pick your brain on this one too, because you pretty much know what you're doing, which I think everybody does. Um, Tell me about it. You know, it's so funny because when I learned covered calls, I said, all right, I've figured this out now. I've got it. So I'm buying all these call options, right? And I'm losing, I was holding them until they expired worthless. So I'm like, all right, I figured out, okay, some SOB is taking my premium and pocketing it. Now I can do covered calls. So now I can reverse, flip the script. Now I can take premium back from someone else, right? So I did that, and it's funny. Here's another story you all will like. This also happened last year in our wonderful year of 2022 when inflation started kicking in and everything got crazy. So I had Blackstone stock. That used to be one of my favorite stocks for years. I had a lot of it. I had enough to do covered calls on it. So I had made, and I started this in June of last year. I was making like $1,000 a week on covered calls, but it got to the point after the third week, I completely blew my profits in it because I had to buy back and stuff. And I still hadn't quite mastered the rolling of the options yet. But even if you roll, you still take a loss, right? So after making $1,000 for the first 2 weeks, lost it all, having to buy back at a much higher price. I actually remember the day. It was the day that they overturned Roe versus Wade, and for some reason the market went crazy that day, and Blackstone stock just happened to go up $6 and completely screwed me on the last day before expiration. Because what I was doing weekly options, 1 month CD. You know, some of my relatives, they love CDs, but the thing is, you're losing value because inflation was up to 9% at one point last year. So you're losing if you're only getting 4 or 5%, which don't get me wrong, is way better than it used to be, like in prior years. But you're still at like half of what inflation is. So you're still losing money, right? But yeah, last year, man, nothing worked. I mean, you just got screwed either way. You know, like you're losing 9%. Every dollar in your wallet's losing 9%. Every dollar that sits in your bank account's losing 9%. And then you're losing 30% of the market. So it's like, screw it. You know, just live for today, I guess. You know, YOLO, right? 5% T bills. Yeah, that was another option. I think I actually, the funny thing, I got into those, what was it, the I series bonds. I got it in the Yada app, actually. I got $500. But then I think October 2022, they actually dropped the rate from where it was because it kind of reflects the CPI. But anyway, overall, all these dumb trades aside, which, and I I have had some good wins too. But dumb trades aside, I actually, most of my investments are in 401ks, index funds, and whatnot. So overall, I was protected with that. So I only risk maybe 5 to 10% of the overall portfolio. But damn it, it would be nice to hit some of these, 100%, hit them out of the park, right? And I tell you what, that $23,000 that would have offset a lot of losses from last year for sure. Now, all right, for those of you that have been waiting, I'm going to show you. I'll show you the Roth IRA. You can see how far I'm down in AT&T and some of the others. So some of these stocks, like I've held for a long time before I was a seasoned investor. So everybody's got to be objective on that, of course. So all right, what do I have in the Roth? First one, I have Avid, which has done really well, up 203.6%. Car Gurus, I'm down 31%, and Dollar General, barely up. Horizon Therapeutics, up 40%, but didn't buy enough, of course. This one called Inseego, which I followed from some stock service, is way down. That was supposed to be like their number one hot pick of that year. And you see how hot it is. It's so hot, it's pretty much in hell from a return standpoint. Intel, I'm down oddly 40%. Should have sold that one. IQIYI, this was another one. Should I name the stock service? I think I will because I canceled them. Motley Fool, that was one of their hot ones back in 2019. And it did well for a while. The IQIY, it's like the Chinese Netflix. That was one of their hot ones. Well, I got into that. You see how it's done. Down 73%. Kyndryl Holdings, down 50%. Here's my meta call options I wanted to show you in the middle. This is half of them because I got, I think I have 10 total. I got 5 in the Roth. So you can see I invested 3,500 and I'm up to 9,000 with about a $5,500 gain. I have some Palantir, which just broke into the black, which that's nice to see. QQQX, QYLD, I'm down. SVOL, slightly up. AT&T, I've been holding AT&T for a while, and I'm way in the tank on that. Teladoc, this one split or something. There's my Tesla option, which I tried, like I said, the same strategy between Meta, Tesla, and Nvidia, all September 15th options. VGFC, that was another dumb one that one of the big YouTubers recommended. Don't know why I bought that, but I'm almost down a perfect 100%. So I'll feel totally at perfection once it loses the rest of its value. And then I can just write it off as a complete loss, right? And then W, that was another dummy Wayfair call option. I only got one. That's not too bad. I think I bought it for 500 and it's probably going to expire worthless. And then last but not least, Warner Brothers, that split off from AT&T. And I'm down like 66.6%. So a nice 3 6s there. So good stuff, huh? So I am down in the Roth, but I'm up more in the brokerage. So let me stop this for a second here. The main thing I wanted you to see was that meta option in the middle. So the meta option in the middle, that one, as you saw, was up quite nicely. So combined between the Roth and the brokerage, I'm actually sitting on my biggest option win of the year. So Let me know again for those of you that joined a little bit late, and I'm hoping Rob Smith is on here still. I want to know what all you all would do if you were in meta options at this point. Like if you had gotten that one, would you hold it? Because Huffman here saying that it's going to be probably another $40 that it goes up. So, but I don't know. The moment I see it drop, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I'm going to try to be patient with this one. So, and then I want to see, have I sold anything in the Roth this year? Oh, there's I showed you guys this one already. My Nvidia options in the Roth. I had a realized gain on that one. Let me see from a year ago. Didn't sell anything in the Roth here because I just moved these accounts over here from E-Trade actually. I used to have more here, but I actually, believe it or not, I took a big chunk to pay my house. I paid a big chunk down on my house because I just didn't know where things were going to go, honestly. I kind of bought into the whole Dave Ramsey strategy. Oh, you know what? It's weird because I have some dummy accounts, I guess. Okay, the main brokerage one, and I'll share this one in a second here. I want to see, okay, I showed you all the realized gains. All right, now we'll look at the unrealized gains here. So this is full transparency here in this one. All right, so here we go. So what you're going to see with this one is going to be in the black. Yeah, Babe Ruth versus Pete Rose. See if we have a green week due to the debt ceiling or if it was baked in. You may have a jump this week. Good point. You're right. We could. Low cost index funds on your Roth. Why not? Yeah, I might because I've blown up my Roth with some of these options. Kind of disappointed in myself because I've been putting the maximum in the Roth since like 2016. Shoot, I'm gonna make myself even more upset now. So if I've been putting the maximum in the Roth since 2016, I think my Roth was all AT&T stock basically at first. So I think the max back then was 5,500 and 5,500 because I remember 11,000 or so, and then it was another 5,500. So that's 16, 17, 18. By 19, it went up to 6,000, and then 20, 21, and then by 2022, I think it went up to 6,500. So that Roth should be worth like probably 47 or 50,000, but it's kind of in the tank, kind of blown it up. Oh well, I'll make it back, right? Maybe I can be like, who was it, Peter Thiel? And he had like the $2 billion Roth or something because he did crazy call option trades or something. Let me see something here. Back here for a second. Oh, that's unrealized. Okay, let me see, unrealized. Cost basis. Oh, you know what? See, this is what's confusing. This is where I have a hard time tracking because I had gains. So the Roth should have been worth $47,500, right? But the cost basis, for those of you keen observers, the cost basis was 54,644, 664, and the market value is only 45,758. So basically, I'm flat in the Roth, but that's because I took other stuff that I've made gains on and bought into stuff that unfortunately is down. So overall, the Roth is flat. But what's really saved it is the meta call options because without that 5,500, this account would pretty much be in the tank. But it has been coming back. All right, now I'm going to show you all, good folks, since you've been on here and been with me so long. I'm going to show you all my brokerage account, and you know, of course, my family probably watch this too and say, "Oh, look, this is the money he has, huh?" You know, it's honestly, it's not that much. I don't have the kind of money that unconventional wealth ideas has. Too bad I just can't pick a rich relative and say, "Hey, look, this is my account," and log into some relative that has like $1 million and say, "Hey, look, this is my account," right? Fidelity. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I've done videos on these. Fidelity has some great low cost index funds that are aggressive. Which ones are your favorite there, Big Lance? Because I've got FISROX, FNILX, and I think FTGAX. I actually got those I started an HSA account. And that one, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to go look at that. Who only has 100K? Who? Unconventional guy? Because if that's the case, then we're tied, I would say. Is that who you're talking about? I mean, this is one. I'm not. gonna show you all everything. That's when I set up my Patreon, I'll show you guys more. Let's see here. But this is one. I have other accounts. I have yeah, yeah. Yeah. He who must not be named. We got to use abbreviations, right? You know what he should do? Here's some free advice for him. And I do want to get him on the channel. But so I'm THB. He could be UWI, right? 116 in 2 years. That's got 8,000, 8% a year. You could get that in CDs almost. 8% a year. I remember I had someone that asked me, they had me review their 401k, and they said, "Hey, is 8%?" And this was in like 2019, which I think, not to brag, but my 401k did like 36% that year because I was in all the aggressive funds. And someone asked me, "Hey, I did 8% in my 401k. Is that good? That seems pretty good." And I was like, "You didn't lose, but in the year we had, you should have probably quadrupled that because those years were phenomenal." I have to say, from 2017 to 21, it's one of the best markets I've ever seen. Oh, really? Is that where the $400,000 comes from? $400,000 comes from. So how does that work? So then you have 400,000, only 100,000 of it's your own money, but 300,000 is margin. Wow, you've got some balls to do that. I would not do that. That's you're talking about like potentially risking the whole farm, so to speak. He talks about paying off his margin in 3 years with what? His gains? I did the math on his total returns. It would take him 19 years to pay it off. Yeah, because I saw if you look at the overall return on there, because I only watched like one video. I'm not gonna stalk these people. Too busy making my own content successfully. But I looked at the one video and I said, he's down like 60,000 overall. He's getting good dividends. He's claiming he's getting 100,000 in dividends. Uh, but the account overall is way down from what I could see. Like I think of a $400,000 account, it was down like 60,000 or so. So what's that? That's over 10%, right? 60,000 of 400, right? That's like 15% down. What's this? Don't expose yourself. What do you mean expose yourself? What are you talking about here? FSELX with Fidelity. Oh, that's a new one I haven't heard of. I need some clarification on this comment here. The guy with the dog picture here, Nick Palmer. What kind of dog is that? Did you name it Nvidia? I hope you did. If you rescued that dog, I hope you named it Nvidia. He loses so much money on price erosion minus the margin rates minus taxes. Yeah, I know, but yet somehow the channel surpassed me. Go figure. Oh, you might be talking about margin. I'm trying to read the context of your. You know what's funny? On my iPhone, this picture popped up here. I did a video. Hold on a second here. I know I'm random here. I did a video here. This was at the. See this picture here? Hold on a second here. See that good-looking dude there? You recognize him? That was I had to fly into Seattle. Oh, that's my aunt. Hold on. How do I pause this stupid thing? Oh, here we go. So this popped up on my iPhone just now, the pictures. So I did a video here. See that? I'm with a drink there. So we got into the Alaska Air Club in Seattle and they had drinks, food, everything. It was great. And I actually put a video out when I was there. So that was fun. We had like a 4-hour layover and we were there the whole time. Anyway, the promise of massive gains. That's a good name for a channel. Okay, so I'm going to show now. I'm going to show the good account, and you'll see the other half of the twin meta call options because I've got half of them in the brokerage. I've got the other half in the Roth. So here we go. Okay, hopefully I'm not showing you all too much here, but you are core fans, so All right, so here's what we have. Full transparency here. I'm like really revealing all this here. So Avid stock, I also have in the brokerage. I'm up 205%. And I'm sitting on that very stubbornly because this stock was up. This was one of the gems that I caught at the bottom of the COVID market. So I was proud of myself for that. I caught this one when it was like $7. But I'm waiting for it to get back. I should have sold it at 40. And it may not get back to that, but June of 2021, it was at $40 a share. So at that point, let's see. I have 100 shares of these. I was up. I was up to $4,000. So I'm kind of just holding it, waiting for it to get back to that. Excuse me. JP Morgan stock I also have. I'm up 16% in that. Here's the other half of my meta options. I only have 8. I thought I had 10. So I have 3 contracts here. These are up to 3,278 here. So 157% approximately. I've got stock in Photronics, Tanger, SVOL here, and TSLY, which I just bought them down in, and then another Wayfair call option. So in this one, I'm up almost 11,000 in this one, or 19.95%. In this option I have down here, this is a covered call I did on my JP Morgan stock, and you can see this one moved against me. So Hoffman, you want to give me some advice on this one? What would you do? I'm down, as you can see, in this one because I got two. See, I bought it for 1369, or I'm sorry, sold it for 1369. Collected premium of 2,738, but I'm down. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out and roll it up. But what I'm trying to do, and you'll be able to relate to this too because you know options well, I'm trying to roll it as far out as I can because I want to collect a little bit of premium. That way I can basically get out of the trade for free, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to lose this JP Morgan stock. It pays a good dividend for one thing. And I think it's going to come back up to where it was because it used to be a $175 stock. But anyway, long story short, that is my meta option there in the middle. So right now, that's the biggest option win I've ever had. And before you all get ahead of yourselves and think, wow, this guy's going to cash in that much on that one, trust me, I'm offsetting other losses from a year ago. So it's not as great as it looks. It's just like when you're a business owner, people that don't understand business, they think, oh, you're rich. But a lot of times, if you have a good week, you're offsetting other weeks that you didn't really do as much, right? So anybody that has a business mindset can relate to that. So, but long story short, though, this plus the 5446, it's almost a $9,000 gain. That's pretty good for just one trade and 2 accounts, I would say. So that would be my biggest option win ever because the Danaher one was like 7,000, I think. So it is nice when you get those trades like that. But anyway, so I just revealed a lot to all of you all on here. Let me go back to because we looked at Meta earnings. I may have to do a Yahoo at least once a video. I'm still going to have to look at Yahoo. Let me get a drink real quick. How are we doing here? You all want me to keep going or what? I'm almost at an hour. Just now starting to really have fun here. Where's the comments? Come on, need more comments. We had this guy, he commented and ran. He's a commenter and runner. All right, Yahoo Finance, we'll look at Meta earnings, and then I want to look up this one that Big Lance mentioned over here. What do you all think about my account I just showed? Any feedback on that? I normally don't do that. What do you all think on that? Between the Roth and the brokerage, it's kind of a wash, basically. Because one's like down 8,000, one's up 11,000, so it's like a $3,000 gain. Okay, here's Biden's ugly face that we don't want to look at for too long, so we'll go to Meta. Get off of this screen quick here, but yeah, they did come to a debt ceiling agreement. Come on, Meta, you can't come up fast enough here. Okay, come on. So Meta, and I think I just looked at this the other day, but the earnings come out July 25th to 31st. They give us a nice range there. So, and oh, look at that ad. Look at that lady sleeping with her mouth wide open there. Let's see. Watch out for these Vantage Point people here. They put these ads on here. They're scammers. They got me. I got one of their services, but they haven't really panned out for me. Here's my thing, Hoffman, if you're following with me. The earnings in July, I think I'm going to sell before because I don't see Meta meeting these earnings. You see what I mean? You see how high they are? But then again, I think Nvidia had something similar. Let me see. Now, I know the next quarter, I think they've raised the earnings projections way higher for Nvidia. So let me see. Let's see. No, it wasn't that bad actually. Then why didn't I think? Why did I'm knocking myself more? Why did I sell? For some reason, I thought the earnings were that they weren't going to meet them this next quarter. Man, that was dumb of me. Darn it. I got to stop doing that. Remind me to stop doing that, by the way. Remind me to stop selling call options too soon. All right. So the flip side here, this isn't going to be exactly like Nvidia. What do we have here? Let's see. If he doesn't care about growth, but simply the massive dividends over 20% or more, does he have a point? Not a very good one. Keep going. All right, I will. Yeah, a toast to that. I'll toast my totally non-alcoholic beverage here. All it is an energy drink. It's just this stuff. But you know, it's funny, if I pour it in a clear cup, it looks like beer. Because one time I drank it during a work meeting and someone thought I had a beer in my hand. I said, nope, you would only see me with a beer in my hand if this was my last day before I retired. That's the only way I would be doing that. So, all right. So Meta. Now, here's what I want, and Hoffman and some others that know options well. Tell me what you would do here. So, almost 11 o'clock. Tell me, with the earnings the way they look, looks like we're not going to beat earnings next month. That's my thought. If you look at the 4 quarters and the estimate here, it's looking like we're not going to beat earnings. July 25th. Do you see us exceeding that hurdle there? I don't. So we just beat last quarter, but I'm probably going to go out soon. I've basically got 2 months and the clock is ticking. So I'm thinking I'm going to get out of that one. Now, the other thing I want to look up this other fidelity fund here. And ooh, that reminds me. I want to look at what Hoffman told me here. Where's my screen? Not Hoffman, but Big Lance. Big Lance. Let's see. Okay, so I have a Fidelity account that I got the Fidelity funds in. Makes sense, right? I wouldn't have a Vanguard account with Fidelity funds, or maybe I could, but all right, where is this? I have so many apps on here. I have to like search now. Let's see. Fidelity. Fidelity. So far, I'm happy with them. I haven't had any issues. Every brokerage has a little bit different design. One thing I'd love to be, and I used to work with these teams at my old job, like the teams that actually develop these. I would love to like develop one of these apps. So, yo, we've already been on, but I guess you're back. So yeah, I am gonna look that one up, but I'm just reviewing over my HSA account here. I got a question for you all here. I'm not looking for some tax advice, but do you know, because this came up on my tax return, can you do, if you're employed, you're allowed to do up to $38.50 as an individual in a separate HSA account, correct? Tell me, any of you that know. And AMZY is coming soon. Mike Lorca, welcome to the stream. Drip SVOL and don't look back. Let me stop sharing here for a second here. Drip SVOL and don't look back. I don't know if I would drip SVOL or not. I guess I could, but that may not be a bad idea because it's flat, basically. So let's see. What was the Fidelity fund that you mentioned here? Let me go back up here. Let me see. Where was that fund you mentioned? Exactly. You want to comment? Oh, it was FSELX. FSELX. Let me look at that. I'm surprised no one has any comments for the portfolio I just showed. I just like revealed a big part of my portfolio here. No comments? Like good, bad, indifferent? Oh, Glenn Furs, welcome. Coming in a bit late, a yield max ETF of AVGO might be interesting. AVGO, will we get that one? Is that on? Ooh, look at that one. That went up $83, but it's already an expensive stock anyway. 2% yield. Yeah, could be. We'll see. Okay, so what was this one? What was this one again? FSELX is Fidelity Select Semiconductors portfolio. That one is going to have to recover a little bit. It actually has recovered really nice since October 17th. Year to date, we're actually, wow, good find here, Big Lance. We're up 52% almost. So, all right, are any of you going to answer my questions or comment on the portfolio I just showed? I thought there'd be some comments at least. Um, but yeah, so HSA. Does anybody know HSA? Like, you can do a separate HSA, like even if you're employed and stuff, full time employed, you can do up to 3850. That's my understanding, right? So I do have, like I said, I have the FNILX in the Fidelity account, the FTGAX, and I have the FISROX. Those are the three that I have. Dollar cost average over last years, right? Let's see. I think do I still have this one open? Let's see. So how am I doing in the three Fidelity funds? Let's see. How's the sound, by the way? Is the sound any better? So I'm in, oh, I'm sorry. It's FGRTX, FNILX, and FISROX. Those are the three that I'm in. And I'm hoping this app will show me, um, I'm wanting to see based on fund. See, every broker is different. So to do the math on how much I'm up, I have to basically do, let me see here. It was 3650 and 3850, 7500. So this one is up. This account is 834122. Let's see. 834122. Oh shoot. But divided by 7500. Here we go. 11%. Oh, you're a big Fidelity fan, aren't you? How about that? FXAIX. Let me see. I'll look this one up too. FXAIX is Fidelity 500 Index Fund. This one looks like it's doing well. 10%. Is that like the Fidelity S&P 500? What do you think about the three that I'm in? I'll comment those here. Yeah. Okay. So that one's up 11%. So that's on par with the S&P. So I'm in the FISROX, FNILX, and is it FTGAX? I'm not sure if that's the one again. Let me look again. I know I should know this, right? I used to have everything memorized that I was in. I guess I'm getting old. I don't know. My aunt talks about brain fog. So I used to have every dime memorized of what I was in. It's kind of crazy. So okay, let me see. This one, like I said, I did the return here. The rate of return is about 11%, right? It's FGRTX. There we go. So those are the three that I'm in. And as of right now, I'm not going to add any more. And I think I want to say these pay dividends. I probably could just open this one too. Let me see. Let me see here. Fidelity. Yeah, it would fascinate me if I could have a project just to design a brokerage app. That would fascinate me because I could merge like my IT background with my finance background. Instead of what I used to do, working on like mainframe, um, treasury and cash products. Let me see if I even know my log on here. I have the thumbprint set up on my. Oh, that's wrong. How about that? All right, I'm not going to try it. I looked it up on my phone. That's good enough. Close this one out here. Fidelity. This one. I can definitely relate to a brain fog. Unfortunately, you know what I want to do? Every time I hear that term brain fog, I want to find like a foghorn, like a, like when the boats come in from, they come into shore and they have the fog alert. That's what I want to do. I did that to my aunt one time. She goes, stop making fun of me. It's a serious thing. This brain fog. She has a whole book on it and stuff. But it is weird because like I said, when I first started investing, I pretty much knew every penny, which is funny because I still had some stocks that went bankrupt. But anyway, yeah, SVOL does seem to be a steady Eddie. Just throw all your cash, dollar cost average with a few of the low cost funds, aggressive and conservative, letting it grow. Yeah, I mean, do you like those three? These three are the ones, and I'm gonna just ride those for now. Basically, excuse me, I just do my HSA contribution. Hey, I agree. I agree with you. And I actually didn't show the account that I'm in Danaher in, but you know what? Another good piece of news: I closed an option out for a profit Friday, actually. So that was some good news. How do I see Mr. Lance here? Are you very familiar with the Fidelity platform? How do I see on the mobile device like the return by fund? I guess I could just look at my stock app on the phone. That's what I'll do for now. FZROX. FZROX. I just had like a deja vu moment. That's weird. Okay. Let's see. Year to date on the Fizz Rocks. How are we doing? Good enough to serve a drink on the rocks? I talk about drinking a lot, don't I? I don't have a problem or anything, but okay, 9% for the year. Let's see. What was the other one? I already forgot. Oh, FNILX. No, I didn't forget. I didn't forget. FNILX is up year to date 11.16%. Okay. And then, see, these are like total market funds, right? And this is a large cap one, I think. FGRTX. Hey, here's a question for you. What's a really good, like, large cap, like, NASDAQ fund? Because the NASDAQ so far has come roaring back this year. Now, here's the funny thing, my first 401k from my last employer, I'm in a really good, it's actually a JP Morgan fund, a large cap fund, but because it's like an employer fund, I don't know the ticker for it. So all I know is that it's been a really good fund because I'm like way up in it. It's actually anchoring that 401k. All right, and then FGRTX. FGRTX. Let's see. 10.09% in the FGRTX. So pretty good in those three. Click into positions. Is that on the mobile app? I think that's in the mobile app, right? Um, let's see. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. FNCMX. You're not capitalizing them now, so they must not be as good. FNCMX. Oh, yeah, there we go. A good Nasdaq fund. How's this one doing? 23.7%. Pretty good. How did we do last year? I think we were down. Favorite year 2022, right? Oh, down 33%. So yeah, we were down. I knew that everything was down in 2022. Um, okay, well, good funds there. Good. We're all kind of comparing notes here, so that's good. Dollar cost average it. Okay, so good discussion here. Got into a lot of stuff here. Got into options and stuff. I guess maybe I feel a little bit better about my Nvidia blender, but who knows. So, all right, I think unless anybody else has anything to discuss there, I think I'm gonna call it a night. So, if you haven't already, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you ever get into like Nvidia or Meta, just try not to sell too soon. I guess that's kind of the lesson, right? So, unless anybody has any last minute comments or anything, I'll give it a few seconds here. And yeah, Meta, like I said, I'll look at Meta selling that probably next week because, like I think Hoffman said, we might have a. Oh, Did you want to look at Danaher, Damon? Let me look at it. I think it is going to come roaring back. I do have faith in it. I'm going to hold it until, and I think yours is actually expiring after mine. Mine is in September also, so I've only got like 3 months to play with on that one. We might have one more earnings report, but otherwise, yeah, I do believe that's one's going to come roaring back. So thank you all again. Have a good evening. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good Memorial Day if we don't talk before then. Alrighty.